My name is Sherry Oken. In his Nobel Peace Prize lecture on December 11, 1964, Dr. King stated, "I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality." We're gathered here today to celebrate that optimistic vision, revealed through the lives of Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. And through this annual event, we reinforce Dr. King's message of mutual respect and acceptance of all kinds of differences and the need to eliminate bias and intolerance. Events such as this brings our community together to foster a greater understanding and appreciation for human rights in all its forms. Now I'm going to invite Jeremy Little, the Vice Chair of the Commission, to please read our land acknowledgement, which is traditional at the start of each of these events.
Welcome, everyone. The Wakefield Human Rights Commission acknowledges that the lands we now call Wakefield are the ancestral homelands of the Massachusetts people who have been the caretakers of the unceded land for centuries and will continue to be for centuries to come. We are settlers. The Massachusetts people have been tirelessly striving for human rights, even in the face of land theft, genocide, and forced removal. The work we do to build a more unified, equal, and diverse community grows out of the efforts, leadership, and guidance of countless Native communities. We commit to honoring this continued Native activism as we do our work. In doing so, we dedicate time in our meetings throughout the year to help educate those in the community about the Native people of Massachusetts, past, present, and their work towards the future. We stand with the Mass Indigenous legislative agenda in celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day in place of Columbus Day. Please enjoy the show.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next up, I'd like to invite Rabbi Greg Hirsch to provide an invocation for today's event.
Good morning. It's easier to do nothing than it is to do something. It's easier to stay the same than it is to change. It's easier to fear and hate than it is to love and understand. It would have been easier for you all to stay home this morning, but thank you for coming to honor the life and ongoing legacy of one of America's greatest heroes, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Martin Luther King didn't take the easy path in his life. He struggled for justice and equality and sought to overturn the racist, intolerant social order of his day. Always committed to nonviolence, King used the power of his voice to promote ideas that resonate in the heart of every American, that we live in a country where all men are created equal, with liberty and justice for all, even though he knew it was aspirational. King forced America to reckon with its lofty ideals in light of the racism that was so pervasive in our country in the 1950s and 60s. King's struggle continues to this day, as we're still trying to live up to the principles of our great democracy. While things may have improved since King's lifetime, his work is not yet done. We must still combat racism and baseless hatred of the other. In his book, Strength to Love, first published in 1963, King wrote, quote, "Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate, violence multiplies violence, and toughness multiplies toughness in a descending spiral of destruction." May we, here this morning, may we be the light that drives out the darkness. May we employ the love that drives out hatred. May we learn the holy power of compassion that drives out intolerance. And in the words of the prophet Amos, may we, quote, "let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream."
Thank you for those inspirational words. Today, our keynote speaker is State Senator Jason Lewis, who has represented the people of the 5th Middlesex District of Massachusetts since 2014. He has a deep sense of social justice and has been outspoken on issues of racial, gender, and LGBTQ plus equity. We are honored to welcome him to the stage. Senator Lewis?
Thank you, Sherry. Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be celebrating MLK Day together, and I appreciate this opportunity to share some thoughts with you. I want to also welcome and recognize some of my colleagues who are here. I see State Representative Kate Lippick-Arabedian. Good morning. I also see several members of the Wakefield Town Council, Ann Danahy, Maureen Butt, and Julie Smith-Galvin. Great to see you all, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. I want to thank Sherry and the Wakefield Human Rights Commission, the METCO program, the Wakefield schools and PTOs, the Clergy Council, WCAT, and everyone else who helped to organize this morning's program. We very much appreciate your efforts. Like most speakers on MLK Day, I would typically focus my remarks on the struggle for civil rights and social justice. And there is much that we could discuss, like ongoing efforts to whitewash our nation's history, target transgender youth, or suppress the votes of Black and brown citizens. But I'm going to take a different approach today and focus instead on economic justice and inequality. In his 1964 Nobel Peace Prize lecture, same one I think that Sherry quoted earlier, Dr. King said, "There is nothing, quote, there is nothing new about poverty. What is new, however, is that we have the resources to get rid of it. There is no deficit in human resources. The deficit is in human will. The well-off and the secure have too often become indifferent and oblivious to the poverty and deprivation in their midst," end quote. The historic march in August 1963 was titled "The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom." Dr. King and other civil rights leaders always understood that racial justice was completely intertwined with economic justice. From World War II through the 1970s, economic growth and prosperity in our nation was broadly shared. Since the 1980s, however, average income for the top 1% has grown at an annual rate that is 10 times greater than the growth of average income for the bottom 90% of Americans. Today, the household wealth of the top 1% in our country is almost $40 trillion and exceeds the combined wealth of America's entire middle class. Across the country, 1 in 18 Americans live in deep poverty, meaning their household income is less than 50% of the federal poverty threshold. For a family of 4, that's an annual income of just $13,740. Tens of millions of our fellow Americans live paycheck to paycheck, working multiple jobs, struggling to feed their family and keep a roof over their heads. This economic injustice affects all racial and ethnic groups, but it is especially acute for Black Americans. Here's one shocking example. A 2015 study found that the median net worth of a white family living in the city of Boston was about $250,000. The median net worth for a Black family, $8. Yes, you heard me correctly, $8. When it comes to home ownership, the primary source of household wealth, the racial gap has not only persisted, but has actually gotten worse. In 2022, 75% of white families owned their home, compared to only 45% of black families nationwide. Far more black students than white students need to take out loans in order to attend college, and are forced to borrow, on average, an additional $10,000 more. I could go on and share many more similar such statistics. These glaring and unconscionable economic disparities are the result of centuries of racial oppression, exploitation, and discrimination in our country. Many white Americans seem to think that because, for the most part, overt racial discrimination no longer exists, this means that America has addressed and has rectified its troubled racial past. But nothing could be further from the truth. Here in Massachusetts, we have been working to combat economic injustice and inequality, and I'll share briefly a few of our accomplishments in recent years. We increased the minimum wage in our state to $15 an hour, one of the highest in the nation. This has increased take-home pay for more than 900,000 Massachusetts workers and families, including many who are people of color. We created a universal paid family and medical leave program, which enabled more than 140,000 workers last year to take time off from work to care for a newborn child or attend to their own serious illness or the illness of a loved one. Many of these workers are low income and would never have enjoyed any paid leave benefits from their employers without this program. We passed what is known as the Student Opportunity Act to invest an additional $1.5 billion in our public schools, targeted mostly at schools that educate large numbers of low-income students who are disproportionately students of color. And after an almost 10-year fight, voters approved the passage of the Fair Share Amendment in November 2022. A new national report last week ranked our state as the #1 state for most improved in tax fairness. The state legislature was able to use the new revenue from the Fair Share Amendment to provide free school meals, both breakfast and lunch, to all our K-12 students across Massachusetts. A huge step forward in combating food insecurity. These policies are making a positive difference, but there is no doubt we need to do much more. I'm excited that the state Senate has set a goal of making community college in Massachusetts tuition-free for all students starting in the next school year. This is only possible thanks to the new state revenue from the Fair Share Amendment. Our community colleges serve large numbers of low-income students and disproportionately students of color. For example, more than 60% of the students at Bunker Hill Community College are students of color. I'm also optimistic that the state legislature will work closely with Governor Healy and her team in the months ahead to pass a historic housing bill that will help address our housing affordability crisis and help narrow the racial homeownership gap. I want to conclude by calling on all of us to deepen our commitment to the critical work of diversity, equity, and inclusion in all our institutions. This work gained momentum after the horrific murder of George Floyd in 2020, but as I'm sure you know, is now facing a significant backlash from right-wing conservatives. As part of our DEI work, we must also engage in serious conversations about racial reparations. Communities across the country, including some here in Massachusetts, like the town of Amherst and the city of Boston, have launched reparations efforts. The approach and the solutions may differ, but I believe that every community should be undertaking its own conversation about its racial history and its efforts around reparations. I'm certainly pushing for a reparations task force to be created at the state level here in Massachusetts. I'll close once again with the words of Dr. King, quote, "The poor in our countries have been shut out of our minds and driven from the mainstream of our societies because we have allowed them to become invisible. Just as nonviolence exposed the ugliness of racial injustice, so must the infection and sickness of poverty be exposed and healed, not only its symptoms, but its basic causes. This too will be a fierce struggle, but we must not be afraid to pursue the remedy, no matter how formidable the task." Thank you very much.
I've been told now that it's going to take a few minutes for that screen to come up so that the dancers can come on stage and have the full stage. Here it comes, painfully slow. Okay. Now, I think a lot of people came for this, we're going to have a special performance by Origination. Origination is a nonprofit organization that produces innovative and dynamic performing arts programs that motivate and challenge and inspire youth to be their very, very best they can be. We're so pleased to have the students in their dance program with us again this year with music and spoken word for today's celebration of Dr. King. Origination, on stage.
Martin had a dream that he hoped to see fulfilled, where all races could live together and not be killed. From the guns and the violence, all the blood flowing cold, where our skin color could not determine our future home. Where the lives that we lived would be better for all children, and the process of change would not cause a mass confusion. It's a shame that today people stray from the facts, breed hatred, ignorance, no responsibility for their acts. Martin wanted freedom, injustice, equality for all. And it's hard to believe that for his beliefs, he took the fall. Martin, Malcolm, Sojourner, and the like were great leaders fighting for justice and what was right. Now they are gone. And yes, this is true. But their spirit lives in all of us, so don't be blue. Their dreams, like mine, will live throughout this world, and racism will slowly die, and life made safer for boys and girls.
Amazing grace, how sweet, how sweet, sweet, the sound that saved a wretch, like me. I was lost, but now I'm found.
What you say, girl?
But now
I'm found. They still can't feel you.
But now
I'm found.
Was blind, but now
I see. fear.
And that grace, my fears relieve.
My fears relieved.
How precious did that grace appear, yeah. Thank you, Lord, thank you. Believe, thank you, Lord.
Is it not important for us to fight for what we believe in? To fight for what is right? Should we continue to allow every wrong to skate by our noses without posing the question why? Why? I believe if there's a cause to walk for, then walk. I believe if there's a cause to fight for, then fight. I believe if there's a cause to die for, then stand strong. I believe that if it comes down to me posing the question, why should I be treated any less than a human being, then the stronger and more powerful my people will be. I have a voice, a strong and powerful voice. I have the right to demand equal education, equal transportation, equal public facilities, equal voter registration, and a change in Washington administration. It's important for us to take a stand. Unite as one and lend a helping hand. So rise up for what you believe in and let the whole world know that the voice you have is powerful. And together we are in full control. Thank you.
My name is Jada, and I will be reciting a poem called I Win. Time after time, I wonder, you see, why for 5 long years you've picked on me. Is it the clothes that I wear, or the shoes on my feet? Is it the fact that I'm smart? Why you bully only me? You throw rocks at my mom, you gawk at my hair. You knock down my books and you laugh at what I wear. I try to be nice because I want you as my friend, but the price that I'm paying isn't worth it in the end. You have to like me for me, who I am, what I wear, the color of my skin and the thickness of my hair. But if not, who cares? You lose in the end. You'll be alone tomorrow and I'll have all the friends. Thank you.
Getting the spirit in the dark. I'm getting the spirit in the dark. People moving, all in the grooving. Just getting the spirit in the dark. Feel like
Can you hear me well? Yes, are you sure? How are you this morning? I need a little more noise. How are you this morning? Yes, so much better. So right now I'm going to teach some choreography. So we're going to do a little interactive piece right here. And it'll be to the music you heard earlier. So I promise you won't have to spin on your back or lift your legs up or anything. I just need a few volunteers from the audience. I promise you won't break a sweat. You'll get a couple of steps in for your watches. You know, so if you don't come up, then I'm going to come down. So can I get a couple of volunteers? Yes, it's for everybody and anybody. No one? Listen,
Oh, come on.
I drove an hour to get here
Ed.
to hang out with you. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Leading by example. Yes. Thank you. I love it. Come on down. Come on down. And we're going to move a little slower. I promise. You won't mess up your hair. You won't mess up your outfit. You won't mess up your outfit. All right, we're good? Yes? A few more? All right. Thank you so much. So I can hold on to the mic just so we can catch it. So we're going to start off with our feet together. Make sure you have room. There's space right here. No, this is okay. Thank you, though. Josiah, can you stand right there, maybe? Yeah, thank you. All right, stand up straight and tall with your feet together, arms by your sides. Your first move, your right hand, you're going to reach up to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other hand goes up. 5, 6, 7. Nice. You're going to bring both arms down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Easy, right? Isn't that right? Then you're going to take your right hand and your right leg, both. And you're going to lean. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it back in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good to go? Yes? Let's try from the top. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Burst it open and 1, 2. Take your time. 5, 6, 7. Reach out and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Good. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. How are they doing so far? Yeah, I might have some new company members. We're going to do a little bit more and then you're done, I promise. You're going to take both arms and reach them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Both arms forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here on 8. Both arms out, chest up, chin up. Yes? Let's try it once with no music and then with music. Are we ready? Are you ready? Yes. Are you sure? All right, let's do it. Feet together, stand up straight and tall. Inhale through your nose and exhale. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 5, 6. I'm going to move out the way and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Burst open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reach to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4. In 5, 6, 7. Other side and 1, 2. Yes. 4 in 5, 6. Scoop those arms and 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down. 6, 7, 8. Chest up, chin up. Yes. DJ, can we have that music, please? All right, stand up straight and tall. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. This is your big moment right here. You've been waiting your whole life for this. 5, 6, 7, 8. And reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open. 1. Take your time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reach out. And 1, 2, 3, 4. In 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Scoop it up. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Burst down. Chest up. Yes. Take a bow. Yes. Give it a round of applause. Nice work. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for having us today. We truly appreciate you inviting us back, and I just want to thank our parents that woke up this morning to drive the dancers here. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, audience members, and to my new performers.
Thank you. Were they wonderful? Really wonderful? Okay. Gia, Vanessa? Okay, I am now inviting a couple of Wakefield students up to the stage. Gia Rizzuti is a Galvin Middle School student and a member of the Amigos Club. And Vanessa Westlake is a Wakefield High School student and a member of the Youth Council. Okay. There's so much more to Martin Luther King's legacy than the iconic I Have a Dream speech. This year, Gia and Vanessa is going to read the Kingian principles of nonviolence that were inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. And we're going to have it on the screen as well so you can see it as they read it. And, ladies, here you go.
Thank you. Principle 1. Nonviolence is a way of life for courageous people. It is not a method for cowards. It does resist. It is an active, nonviolent resistance to evil. It is aggressive spiritually, mentally, and emotionally.
Principle 2. Nonviolence speaks to win friendship and understanding. The outcome of nonviolence is the creation of the beloved community. The end result of nonviolence is redemption and reconciliation.
Principle 3. Nonviolence seeks to defeat injustice or evil, not people. Nonviolence recognizes that evildoers are also victims and are not evil people. The nonviolent resistor seeks to defeat evil, not persons victim by evil.
Principle 4. Nonviolence holds that unearned voluntary suffering for a just cause can educate and transform people and societies. Nonviolence is a willingness to accept suffering without retaliation, to accept blows without striking back. Nonviolence is a willingness to accept violence if necessary, but never inflict it. Nonviolence holds that unearned suffering for a cause is redemptive and has tremendous educational and transforming possibilities.
Principle 5. Nonviolence chooses love instead of hate. Nonviolence resists violence of the spirit as well as the body. Nonviolent love is spontaneous, unselfish, and creative.
Principle 6. Nonviolence believes that the universe is on the side of justice. The nonviolent resistor has deep faith that justice will eventually win. Nonviolence believes that God is a God of justice.
I have something for you. Vanessa and Gia, I wanted to thank you. Okay, thank you. And now for a musical interlude. I can't say whether it's lighter or not, but we invite all of you to sing along. We have dancers, we must have singers in the audience as well. And I'm going to invite Rabbi Greg to come back up. Is that a funny picture or what? Really dates itself. In 1970, which was a very tumultuous time, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young released Teach Your Children Well, a song that was widely interpreted as a call for intergenerational understanding. And it's a message that continues to be relevant today. And again, we're going to put the lyrics up. I encourage all of you to sing along with Rabbi Greg, a multi-talented man.
And I'll just echo, this is not a performance. I want to hear all of your voices singing with me. And if you don't know it, you'll know it by the second verse. Pretty simple song, and I hope we can all sing together, make some beautiful harmonies. Ready? Here we go. You who are on the road must have a code that you
you'll know why. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And know they love you.
Everybody on the last verse.
Yeah. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And know they love you. Happy Martin Luther King Jr.
Next, we give awards on this day. And first I'm going to make some visual art presentations. And okay. There are many Wakefield students that are very talented, and we're featuring an artwork of a few who contributed artwork that captured the spirit of Dr. King. Would the Betcher sisters first come up? I've known these little girls as long as I've lived in Wakefield, although that's right, because they were born after I moved here. And Sydney, this artwork here is by Sydney. Next slide. This artwork here is by Cassie. And not only have we recognized them with certificates, but we've given them something sweet, some cravings flights, so that we don't get tonight. Thank you so much. Okay, so she's going to take a picture of the two of you. Okay, thank you. And now, is Ethan still? Oh, Ethan was not able to stay, unfortunately. Okay. I think when you were in the lobby, you can cue up the picture of Martin Luther King, please. Oh, by the way, Sydney is 8 years old, and she's in the 3rd grade at Woodville, and Cassie is 12, and she's a 6th grade student at Galvin. Ethan Mezakowski is a Wakefield High School student, and obviously an artist and an athlete. Is that amazing? He was here, but he then had to catch the bus to go to a track meet, so he had to leave. But he is here through his wonderful painting of Dr. King. He's a very accomplished artist. Okay. And next, Mr. Lyons. Okay. In the spirit of Dr. and Mrs. King, it's customary to plan a community, jumped ahead. It's customary to recognize youths, residents, town employees, businesses, community groups who have made significant and tangible contributions in promoting the civil and human rights of all people, and particularly in this community. Doug Lyons is our Wakefield Superintendent of Schools, and he will introduce this year's honoree, Margie Daniels. She said she was going to be here.
She's right here.
Oh, Margie, please come up. And as she's walking up, here's the plaque. Okay.
Good morning. I'm a little loud, excuse me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank the HRC for asking me to present this award this morning. Come on, stand right over here. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to recognize Margie Daniels and the Mass Partnership for Youth organization. MPY, located right here in Wakefield, is a nonprofit community leader in creating cutting-edge training and educational opportunities for school leaders, principals, teachers, special educators, law enforcement, and counselors on topics that include school safety, culturally responsive teaching, anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion, navigating trauma and loss, as well as restorative practices. Margie has been a leader in this organization and has adapted the organization over time to be a remarkable partner for schools and law enforcement. She has made the trainings and educational opportunities more accessible through webinars and hybrid opportunities. It is my pleasure to give this award this morning to Margie Daniels and MPY. Would you please join me in congratulating Margie?
Thank you.
Congratulations. Nicely done. Well-deserved. Usually give you
Thank you so much.
Of course.
And Superintendent Lyons is a board member of MPY. I just want to say that, and thank you so much. It's just really a learning process for all of us as we navigate the sometimes troubled waters of our times. And it's so wonderful to come here with like-minded people who take diversity, equity, and inclusion seriously. So with that, I say thank you very, very much for the award. Thank you.
Congratulations. Stand together and have a picture. She's going to take a picture of both of you together, holding up the plaque. Okay. I promised the paper I would do this. Okay, in the spirit of Dr. and Mrs. King, it's also customary for us to have a community service project. Congratulations and thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Evan Rippert is probably familiar to most of you, or at least to your children, because he's the director of the Teen Center at the Wakefield Boys and Girls Club. And he's going to tell you about this year's project.
Hello, and thank you to the Human Rights Council for inviting me here today and inviting you all into our space. In a nod to the second principle of nonviolence, King said that the ultimate end, our ultimate end, must be the creation of a beloved community. And a beloved community is a place where people feel valued, a place where people feel like they have a stake in their community, a place where people can grow up safely, and that's what we're really trying to do here at the Boys and Girls Club. When I started at the program, we had about 30 to 40 kids a day, and now I'm proud to say that we have over 200 members, seeing an average daily attendance of around 100 kids, all Wakefield Middle School, here from the Galvin. The kids walk over, they sign themselves in, and we have snacks, we have games, we have an esports studio, we have an art room, we have sports. My goal is that every child who comes into our doors has access to something that piques their interest, and it can create a space where they feel like they are valued and they feel like they have a stake in their own community. So now I get to invite you to be a part of that. As I said, I want kids to feel like it is their space, and if you've never been over to the AmeriCal Civic Center, it's a kind of fun building from the 50s, and we're constantly working to make it an inviting and wonderful, warm and welcoming space. We've done that through the help of Senator Jason Lewis and some grants and some federal earmarks, but now we're trying to make it a little bit cozier. So if you would like to join us, we're going to be painting our art room. We're going to be doing a fun Starry Night theme. So if you want to show up, we're going to be painting the walls dark blue and then adding some lovely stars. There are shifts that you can sign up for. More information can be found out in the lobby. And I would love for you to be a part of this, that we can build a beloved community where our kids can feel welcome and that we can teach our children well. Thank you.
I love when the speakers who have not even met each other before today all link their messages. That's wonderful. We're actually coming to the end now. Dr. King was, as we know, an eloquent and inspiring speaker. And this has been referenced several times today, but I'm going to read a segment from his 1964 Nobel Peace Prize lecture, because it's true today as it was 60 years ago. Nations have frequently won their independence in battle, but in spite of temporary victories, violence never brings permanent peace. It solves no social problem. It merely creates new and more complicated ones. Violence is impractical because it is a descending spiral ending in destruction for all. It is immoral because it seeks to humiliate the opponent rather than win his understanding. It seeks to annihilate rather than convert. Violence is immoral because it thrives on hatred rather than love. It destroys community and makes brotherhood impossible. It leaves society in monologue rather than in dialogue. Violence ends up defeating itself. It creates bitterness in the survivors and brutality in the destroyers. This is truly food for thought. I really thank all of you so much for coming here today, our wonderful speakers, performers, and I now invite you to continue the conversation and have some refreshments across the hall in the cafeteria. Thank you again.